Streetlights melting on the window frame. Midnight taxis calling out your name. I got silver rings and tired eyes, trying to turn these storms into lullabies. Coffee getting colder in my hand, static from the radio again. Every little memory still glows like blue neon flowers in the smoke. You said every season leaves a stain, but every scar can learn to shine again. So I let the rain fall through my hair and dance like nobody was there. I know the dark can pull you under, I know the silence gets too loud, but every broken little thunder turns into music somehow. After the heavy rain, flowers still know how to bloom. Even the lonely moon still paints the ocean blue. I found a softer way to carry all the weight I knew. Inside this neon garden, I'm finally growing too. Cassette spinning in the dark, tiny universe inside the sparks. We were just kids pretending we were stars, driving nowhere in a borrowed car. Now the city moves a little slow, like it understands the things we don't. And every heartbeat in my chest sounds less afraid than it did then. I stopped running from the ache, stopped hiding every little break. Maybe healing isn't clean, maybe healing still can sing. I know the dark can pull you under, I know the silence gets too loud, but every broken little thunder turns into music somehow. After the heavy rain, flowers still know how to bloom. Even the lonely moon still paints the ocean blue. I found a softer way to carry all the weight I knew. Inside this neon garden, I'm finally growing too. Maybe tomorrow won't feel perfect, maybe the sky still falls apart, maybe the world keeps turning reckless, but I can still protect my heart. I learned that peace is not a destination, it's tiny moments passing by, like strangers laughing in the station, with sunlight catching in your eyes. I used to think that love was lightning, something dangerous and wild. Now I believe it's small reminders that we're still worthy all the while. So if the clouds return above me, I won't disappear again. I'll wear my sadness like a story and let the healing slowly begin. After the heavy rain, flowers still know how to bloom. Even the lonely moon still paints the ocean blue. I found a softer way to carry all the weight I knew. Inside this neon garden, I'm finally growing too. After the heavy rain, I finally learned to breathe. The storm was never there to take the light from me. Inside this neon garden, a better version blooms, and every little shadow makes brighter room for truth. Blue light shimmer through the haze, morning slowly breaks away, and for the first time in a while, I greet the day without fear. You walking slow like velvet weather, soft thunder wrapped inside a sweater. Every word lands delicate and low, like candlelight moving through the smoke. I've been trying not to lose my head, but your laugh keeps circling my bed. Every little glance becomes a song, and suddenly the night feels warm. The city breathes outside the train, tiny diamonds falling with the rain. And somewhere underneath the noise, I hear your heartbeat in my voice. Maybe love is not dramatic, maybe love is subtle too. Maybe all the magic happens in the quiet parts of you. Velvet weather on my skin, pull me closer once again. Every shadow turns to gold whenever you hold me close. Velvet weather in my veins, wash away the old mistakes. If tonight is all we own, then let the whole world fade slow. Kitchen dancing after 2 a.m. Broken speakers humming in the dim. Your fingertips across my sleeve feel like tiny galaxies. Everybody wants a perfect flame, but perfection always burns away. I'd rather have this honest heat than fireworks that disappear. Stay a while before the dawn, before another dream is gone. And tell me every fear you hide, I'll turn them into lullabies. Maybe love is not dramatic, maybe love is subtle too. Maybe all the magic happens in the quiet parts of you. Velvet weather on my skin, pull me closer once again. Every shadow turns to gold whenever you hold me close. Velvet weather in my veins, wash away the old mistakes. If tonight is all we own, then let the whole world fade slow. There were nights I felt invisible, like smoke dissolving into air. But you looked at me so carefully, like everyone was worthy there. I think tenderness is powerful, more than chaos ever was, more than all the loud affections people confuse with love. And if the future changes shape, if distance stretches through the days, I'll still remember how you smiled like winter finally learned to break. So let the records keep on spinning, let the windows fog tonight. Let the city drown in silver while we disappear inside. Velvet weather on my skin, velvet weather, pull me closer once again. Pull me closer once again. Every shadow turns to gold whenever you hold me close. Velvet weather in my veins, wash away the old mistakes. If tonight is all we own, then let the whole world fade slow. Velvet weather through my soul, gentle hands that heal the cold. Every lonely part of me finally feels seen. Velvet weather through the dark, tiny fire inside my heart. Maybe love was always meant to feel this effortless. Soft rain falling from the roof, morning wrapped around the room, and your perfume on my clothes still feels like home. Cherry signs outside the motel glow, pink reflections on the swimming pool. You were smoking by the vending machine, looking like a scene from old magazines. We had nowhere special left to go, just two tired hearts avoiding home. But somehow that empty parking lot felt like the center of the world. You said maybe we're too young to heal, too old to pretend nothing is real. I laughed while the radio played low and watched your shadow move in gold. All these little temporary moments still can leave forever marks. Sometimes broken people find each other right inside the dark. Cherry sky motel, hearts ringing like hotel bells under faded satellites. We came back to life. Cherry sky motel, cheap wine and carousel dreams. Even if tomorrow fades, tonight still feels like heaven. Ice machine humming down the hall, summer heat sticking to the walls. You trace circles on my tired hands like you already understood. Maybe nothing really has to last to become beautiful somehow. Maybe all the best things disappear before we figure them out. So we dance barefoot on the tiles, laughing like reckless little kids, and for a second all the pain didn't matter anymore. All these little temporary moments still can leave forever marks. Sometimes broken people find each other right inside the dark. Cherry sky motel, hearts ringing like hotel bells under faded satellites. We came back to life. Cherry sky motel, cheap wine and carousel dreams. Even if tomorrow fades, tonight still feels like heaven. I don't know where this road is leading, I don't know if we'll survive, but every lonely year before this feels softer tonight. The world outside keeps moving faster, bills and headlines and crowded trains, but in this tiny room together, nothing else remains. Maybe healing starts with laughter, maybe freedom starts with trust. Maybe every ruined chapter still can turn to dust. And if we wake up strangers someday, if our names drift out to sea, I'll still remember how your heartbeat sounded next to me. Cherry sky motel, hearts ringing like hotel bells under faded satellites. We came back to life. Cherry sky motel, cheap wine and carousel dreams. Even if tomorrow fades, tonight still feels like heaven. Cherry sky motel, hold me through the static haze. Every lonely little scar feels lighter in your Cherry sky motel, neon angels guard the night, and somewhere in this fleeting world, we finally felt alive. Morning traffic starts below, cherry lights begin to close, but the warmth still lingers slow inside my chest. Honey dripping from your lazy words, midnight humming like a quiet church. You move slow through the amber room, like sunlight learning how to bloom. Everybody talks too loud these days, but your silence has a sweeter shape. Every glance lands delicate and strange, like static dancing through my veins. I used to chase the loudest spark until it burned me in the dark. Now your softness feels enough, like breathing after holding on. Maybe all I really needed was a slower kind of fire, something warm enough for healing, not another quick desire. Honey static in the air, sweet confusion everywhere. You make every broken thing sound beautiful again. Honey static through the night, golden blur beneath the lights. If the world disappears tonight, I'll still be alright. You leave little notes beside the sink, tiny, proof somebody thinks of me. And somehow that's more meaningful than all the grand romantic scenes. We stay awake until 4 a.m. trading fears beneath the ceiling fan. And every secret that you hold feels safer when it's shared with me. The moon hangs heavy over town, but your voice keeps calming me down. Like the ocean learning songs only lonely hearts can hear. Maybe all I really needed was a slower kind of fire, something warm enough for healing, not another quick desire. Honey, static in the air, sweet confusion everywhere. You make every broken thing sound beautiful again. Honey, static through the night, golden blur beneath the lights. If the world disappears tonight, I'll still be alright. There years I hid my sadness under makeup, under noise, pretending I was fearless while slowly losing my voice. But love doesn't always enter loudly. Sometimes it barely knocks. Sometimes it sits beside you and waits until you talk. I think that's why your presence lingers long after you leave the room, like perfume on forgotten sweaters or flowers learning how to bloom. So if tomorrow brings another storm, another ache, another scar, I know this fragile little feeling will guide me through the dark. Honey, static in the air, sweet confusion everywhere. You make every broken thing sound beautiful again. Honey, static through the night, golden blur beneath the lights. If the world disappears tonight, I'll still be alright. Honey, static in my chest, gentle chaos at its best. Every shattered little part learns to open up again. Honey, static in my soul, turning all the hurt to gold. And for once, I don't feel scared to be fully seen. Static fading with the dawn, still your sweetness lingers on, soft and slow inside my mind, like summer rain. Moon water running down the glass, taxi lights moving way too fast. I keep replaying every word, like waves returning to the shore. Everybody leaves eventually, even stars dissolve invisibly. Still I hold on to tiny things, like your laugh inside my memory. The ocean breeze beyond the town, silver currents pulling at me now. And somewhere underneath the tide, I feel another version rise. Every ending leaves an echo, every wound still learns to heal. Even broken hearts keep dancing, even numbness starts to feel. Moon water on my skin, wash away what could have been. Every tear becomes a tide, carrying me back alive. Moon water through my veins, cooling every little pain. Underneath the silver blue, I remember Fear the quiet rooms, fear the mirrors telling truth. The solitude became a door to places I ignored before. Now I light candles in the dark and trace the constellations marks, trying to believe again that softer things can still exist. The city keeps on moving cold, but my spirit's growing bold. Every lonely midnight walk feels less heavy than before. Every ending leaves an echo, every wound still learns to heal. Even broken hearts keep dancing, even numbness starts to feel. Water on my skin, wash away what could have been. Every tear becomes a tide, carrying me back alive. Water through my veins, cooling every little pain. Underneath the silver blue, I remember who I am. Maybe grief is just another ocean, something endless, something wild. But every current slowly teaches how to breathe between the tides. I spent years chasing distractions, bright illusions dressed as love. Now I find more peace in silence than I ever found in noise. And if tomorrow feels uncertain, if the future shifts again, I'll still trust the moon above me to guide me through the waves. Because survival is a miracle, even when it looks mundane. Getting out of bed each morning is still courage in its way. Water on my skin, wash away what could have been. Every tear becomes a tide, carrying me back alive. Water through my veins, cooling every little pain. Underneath the silver blue, I remember who I am. Water through the dark, little lantern for my heart. Every crashing wave before only taught me how to float. Water in my soul, turning sadness into gold, And beneath the silver sky, I finally feel alright. Ocean winds begin to fade, morning pulls apart the gray, and the water in my chest finally rests. You call me at impossible hours, talking like the world just ended again. Your voice cracks off through the speakers, like thunder learning tenderness. I know we're both a little damaged, a little scared to trust too much. But every time you say my name, the room becomes enough. Ashtrays glowing on the balcony, cars below like tiny galaxies. And somehow all this urban noise feels beautiful with you. Maybe we don't need perfection, maybe messy still can shine. Maybe love is just surviving at the same time. Soft chaos in your eyes, little storms and lullabies. You make every shattered part beat softer in the dark. Soft chaos in my veins, turning hurt into champagne. If this world falls apart tonight, we'll still dance through the lights. Everybody wants a movie scene, perfect angles on a silver screen. But real love looks more like this, half asleep and honest. You hold my hand across the sink while morning coffee starts to steam. And suddenly the smallest things feel sacred somehow. I spent years trying to disappear, making jokes to hide the fear. Now your presence pulls me close, back into my body again. Maybe we don't need perfection, maybe messy still can shine. Maybe love is just surviving at the same time. Soft chaos in your eyes, little storms and lullabies. You make every shattered pie beat softer in the dark. Soft chaos in my veins, turning hurt into champagne. If this world falls apart tonight, we'll still dance through the lights. I used to think I had to earn love by becoming less intense, by hiding every complicated part that made me feel human. But you kissed every contradiction like they were art instead of flaws, and slowly I began believing I was worthy. After all, the future still feels unpredictable, the headlines still look cruel, but maybe hope is built from moments small enough to hold on to, like laughing underneath streetlights or singing badly in the car, or finding someone who reminds you you don't have to hide your heart. Soft chaos in your eyes, little storms and lullabies. You make every shattered part beat softer in the dark. Soft chaos in my veins, turning hurt into champagne. If this world falls apart tonight, we'll still dance through the light. Soft chaos in my soul, gentle hands that heal the cold. Every lonely year before feels distant now somehow. Soft chaos through the haze, golden fire through the rain. And for once my restless heart finally feels calm. City fading into dawn, music still quietly on, and your heartbeat next to mine feels like peace. There was a time I feared the morning, thought the dark would never end. Every mirror felt like static, every silence like a threat. But slowly life began unfolding, tiny colors through the gray, like sunlight breaking through apartments at the start of rainy days. I learned laughing on a rooftop, music echoing downtown, summer wind across the skyline. While the city glows around us, I look around and realize how many miracles exist, like being here and breathing deeply after everything I've lived. The future doesn't scare me now, even if it shifts somehow, because I finally understand peace can live inside uncertainty. Now I carry all my old scars like constellations on my skin, proof that even after heartbreak, light can still get in. Sun after midnight, golden pouring through the blinds. Every lonely sleepless hour led me back to life. Sun after midnight, warmth returning to my eyes. Even after all the storms, love still survives. To every version of myself that thought the pain would never end, I wish I could reach through the years and hold you like a friend. You will never weak for trembling, never wrong for feeling deeply. The world can be unbearably heavy, but your softness is not failure. And maybe that's the real miracle, not becoming hard with time, but staying open to affection after everything survives. So here's to all the healing hearts still dancing through uncertainty, still singing underneath the rain, still choosing tenderness daily. Sun after midnight, golden pouring through the blinds. Every lonely sleepless hour led me back to life. Sun after midnight, warmth returning to my eyes. Even after all the storms, love still survives. Sun after midnight, hope blooming inside my chest. Every broken road before only led me here instead. Sun after midnight.